YouTube, what's up? Pewsily here again. I got a deck update idea thingy for you. It's a Jinzo Returner OTK, and it's funny as hell because you use it Karakiri as well. So I'll quickly run through it with you, and then we can explain the choices for it. So it's Jinzo Returner OTK, so you need 3 Jinzos. Jinzo's probably the only card that I will do this with. I got 1 secret, 1 gold, and 1 of the alternate arts. Normally I like them all to be the same, but just because it's Jinzo, whatever. And then for the Jinzos to return, you need Jinzo Returners. So there we go. Key 6 cards of the deck. When Jinzo Returners sent to the graveyard, special summon a Jinzo from your graveyard, which means if you were to use Foolish Burial on a Jinzo Returner, you can get out a Jinzo. And it's just reminded me now that I'm not running Foolish Burial, so that's probably something. Also, very key card of the deck is Cyber Dragon, because you can use Future Fusion them. And also, very key card to the deck is Synchro Fusionist. When this guy's used for a Synchro summon, he's level 2 non-tuner, you can add 1 card with Fusion in its name from your deck to your hand, which is Future Fusion. Alright, so you use Synchro this off to get Future Fusion from your deck to your hand, and you then Future Fusion away Cyber Dragons, your Jinzos, and your Jinzo Returners, and your Jinzo Special Summon. Now to use the Synchro Fusionist, we've got 3 Junk Synchron, because he can special summon him from the graveyard and synchro into a level 5 straight away. So that then is instant +1 getting the Future Fusion to your hand. Now then, to aid this process, to get the Synchro Fusionist into the graveyard, I went massively overkill, because it's probably the most important card, and just did that. This is also pretty good because if you're not going to pull the OTK off, you can go for more control and use one of these to send a Jinzo Returner to the grave, and then special summon a Jinzo and just try and beat down with the Jinzo. So you've got those. They're like my favourite cards at the moment because they're used in Vayu Turbo. 1 Plague Spreader is really useful for this twist, so I'll explain it to you in a minute. Some of you might know about it. 1 Sangan, just for more search power, gets you. You can search out Synchro Fusionist if you want to discard it with Greffa. It searches out Armageddon Knight, searches out Plague Spreader, and searches out Junk Synchron. And here's the Karakiri twist. The tuner that nobody uses. 3 barrels. So barrel, level 2 tuner. That's all you need to know about barrel. And then this guy. Everyone knows what Strategist does. So, and then finish up 1 Gores because it's Gores. So huge monster lineup. So because we're running Jinzo and stuff, there are 0 traps. So to compensate, we've got 1 Giant Grenade and 2 MSTs to punch stuff. 1 Reinforcements of the army to make sure we can grab preferably a Dark Greffa or a Armageddon Knight really quickly because they're needed. 1 Allure to speed that up as well. And 3 Gold Sarcophagus. I lost all my gold ones, so I'm using supers. Gold Sarcophaguses are there to get you Giant Grenade, because if you're going to go for the OTK, you need Giant Grenade to OTK to make sure nothing's going to stop you. So there's that. Or there's ways you can play really clever with Jinzo as well. But here we go. 2 cards with Fusion in their name, Future Fusion and Overload Fusion. They're all machines, so you've got a limiter. You've got 2 tunings to search out your Junk Synchron as well, because you need to get that Future Fusion using Synchro Fusionist, and 1 Dark Hole to finish off. So here's what you do. I've got to find stuff. Alright. You get Plague Spreader Zombie and Synchro Fusionist into the grave. And you can do that with Dark Greffa and Armageddon Knight really easily. So you then summon Junk Synchron, special summon Synchro Fusionist, and they synchro into a level 5. In the future that will be Hyper Librarian, but for the moment Catastrophe is fine because it's also a machine just in case you draw Limiter. And then Synchro Fusionist effect kicks in, grabbing you a card of Doom, Future Fusion. Future Fusion has always been used to fuel OTKs. I don't know why it's not banned, but long story short, you send 3 Jinzo Returners, or you send the Jinzos first. You send 3 Jinzos, 3 Jinzo Returners, 2 Cyber Dragons, and a Karakiri barrel to the graveyard. And this is what you'll get, these 3, with Future Fusion, you target Chimera Fortress Dragon. So even if this all fails, you're still going to get a massive Beatstick Fortress Dragon at the end of it. So by now you've got this, which in itself is an OTK. But then, send one card from the top of your deck to your graveyard. Special Summon Plague Spreader Zombie. Now, if you've ever noticed the Karakiri Synchro monsters, they need a generic tuner and a machine type non-tuner. Generic tuner, machine type non-tuner. So you synchro. For the Shogun. Steel Shogun will then, for you, special summon Barrel, which is a level 2 tuner. And you then synchro into another one, which will get you another Barrel. And then you synchro into another one, which you might be thinking, oh, does it get you a Barrel? No, it doesn't get you a Barrel, don't be silly. It gets you Strategist. It switches to attack, and you draw 3. If this was Hyper Librarian, you would have already drawn 3, and you'd now be drawing another 3. So this is the field you're left with. This is why Giant Grenade is so important, because by the end of it, you don't have any Jinzos, so traps would kill you. What you could do is synchro into these two and get a Barrel and leave 1 Jinzo. If you don't have Giant Grenade, you can leave 1 Jinzo and still try an OTK. But this is what you're left with. After that one simple play, getting out Synchro Fusionist with Junk Synchron, to get you this, you're left with this. So that's my fun deck idea at the moment. You can also play around with using Foolish Burial. Of course, it probably would be smart to use that. You could drop Gauze for it, I guess. Just so then, if the OTK fails, you can use Foolish Burial to send Jinzo Returns to the grave. You could try playing around with, I don't know, maybe Pot of Avarice. And Gen X Ally Birdman to bounce Armageddon Knights. So then you can reuse your Armageddon Knights. But there we go.